come up with a game plan together, make everyone feel like they're working towards the same why, and they feel like everything else is just going to go away and get paid.
Got to think about that. Yeah, like it was, my only way was to get teachers to do commission, because otherwise they just wouldn't care. Like they literally lost interest knowing that they get paid no matter what, you know?
And you could always, so like, so I pay hourly. So say a parent calls and it's like, hey, we're not gonna make it to Johnny's lesson today. My teacher's here. I'm gonna have him clean the studio for 30 minutes. He's getting paid. Have him do other tasks. Hey, I need you to print. Hey, Johnny canceled his lesson today. You got 30 minutes from 5:30 to 6. Can you print like 10 theory packets? And he'll be like, yeah, sure. And I'll just print packets and do little work.
So I've had a bad experience with that, because I was also teaching. I was very busy, and you know, the teachers, students were canceling. I literally saw a few years ago, like I was teaching, the teacher was getting paid and he was reading a magazine. And he just, you know, like they didn't feel like they could do this, you know, like cleaning now.
Yeah, that's when you have to cross that line of friendship boss to full on boss and be like, hey, I'm paying you to do something. Like, here's a broom, here's a mop, sweep, mop, clean the toilets, whatever it is. Like, hey, yeah, if you're, my whole thing is like, if you're an employee, you got to do what the boss says. If you're an independent contractor, it's different. How are you scheduled? Are your employees or are they ICs?
I have two teachers who are, you know, the W-2, and they have the others 1099.
Okay, yeah, then have your W-2 employees get to work if they're not doing anything. And then have your in ICs, your 1099s, they can sit and do whatever. They're not getting paid for it.
Yeah, and my problem is that I don't like confrontations. I'm like, I know my problem, you know, and I'm trying to make myself, you know.
Me neither. So that's why, that's again, one of those things going back to the why, having that clear why, because right now people are just running around doing their own thing because there's no sense of direction for them.
Yeah.
I firmly believe if you get them all like rallied around one thing and you start doing some training with them, like really digging in as a group, and it doesn't have to be intensive. It could be buying a couple pizzas and having everyone at the studio for an informal meeting or an informal training session on a weekend where everybody's available once a month, just to kind of keep on tabs of things, be like, hey, these are the things we're working on. And I see we're lacking in these things. This is my proposed solution, and then open up the floor to them and have them give their insights, and then really listen to them and be like, okay, they got some good points, or no, those points don't really work. And then come up with a game plan together, make everyone feel like they're working towards the same why. And they feel like everything else is just going to go away. I feel like all that stress and stuff will just.
That's so true.
On that perspective, yeah.
I completely agree. My teachers are so different. Like one is very private. She doesn't like to be on social media. She's very different. And the other like is completely different. So I kind of attend to their own thing, you know. It's hard for them to get together.
How many students do you have total?
So right now, I think we have about, before the pandemic, we had about 110. Now we lost like a lot of people. I don't know. I honestly, I haven't counted. I should have just been busy. But less than that, much less than that now.
What is the bare minimum amount of teachers that you would need to be able to fulfill your student count obligation? Because it may be that if you run these things and you see that some people aren't working, you may have to let them go. Because you don't want people pulling in their own direction. They're going to cause resistance. And a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So if you're here and 5 out of your 6 people are all for it and they're doing everything, and you have one person who's like, reading the magazine, and it's constant, like you talk to them and it's a constant battle, ship them off.
Definitely. Yeah. Let people go, and this was years ago. And like, you know, when I had one of my teachers supervise, he wanted to be the manager. His wife was giving birth 2 years ago. So he shut off the phone, and people were emailing me, or they're trying to call, and, you know, I just call him like, hey, do you want me to get the phone, you know, because I know you're busy. Are you going to get back to the calls? And, he's like, oh, right now my family's more important to me. I said, well, this is my business. We can't just shut it down because, you're not available. So it's hard, like I have a friend in the next town. He's just fed up with it. He's had a student since 1980. And he is like, he's like, they cannot be trusted. I don't trust them. I don't know. Complicated.
No, it is. Managing people is complicated, especially with different mindsets. So rallying them around the why, getting them all together, and then you can evaluate and be like, okay, these people are resonating really well with the new direction we're going. These people aren't. So we either need to coach them up or let them out, so that everyone fits. And then if you can reduce, the more people you add, the more confusion it is. So if you limit the amount of people that you actually need, I know you said the schedule, like they're busy, and I get that, I understand. But if you limit the amount of people that are having to do interactions and stuff, it's easier to control.
Oh, definitely, yes.